Hello, 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 you guys. What an honor it is to be here with you. Sorry I had to run off. It's allergy season here in Wisconsin, and that means weird sneezing and coughing and all kinds of craziness going. So I have my water now. I am Jenny Taylor, one of the leaders out of Wisconsin, and it is a true honor to be here with you guys today, sharing a little bit about objections. Objections, objections, objections. Hey Maria, I want you to think about when you joined this company. I want you to think about how fast you joined and what kind of questions, what kind of concerns, what kind of hurdles did you have when you first started? Because I think as a business owner, we start to forget that very quickly. And this is the way I look at objections. I think we are a tour guide. We are a tour guide, and we start at point A, and where point A is where someone is looking at this business. They may have no clue what it is, and so they've got to go on this journey. We're taking them from point A to point B, and point B is when they're ready to make a decision, whether it's a yes or a no, right? We're not in control of what they decide, but we are in control of how we guide them and what we share with them along the way. And in the beginning, objections are kind of scary because we think that people are challenging us. We're building our mojo and our confidence, and so it feels like a challenge. But what I want you to do is think back to when you joined and all the different questions that you had, because objections really aren't negative. They're questions. They're people trying to figure out if they can see themselves doing this business. Like, is this business the right option for them? We're not in the business of convincing people, guys, so we're never sitting there trying to convince them, but this is where people get hung up. We are in the business of correcting misinformation, right? I mean, I want you guys seriously to think back when you were looking at this business, first of all, what you thought it was. I thought I knew what it was, and I could not have been more wrong. So that's an objection, right? Someone had to educate me and help me see what this really is and what it isn't so that I could make the right decision. And that's your job. That's your job as the tour guide. These objections that come up along the way are just little stopping points. Some people jump in when they hear right away about Rodan and Fields. They're ready to join. 24, 48 hours, they're ready. But most people have multiple questions before they get to point B. And I kind of view those as little stopping points. And we have these common ones, and I'm going to go over the common ones, and I'm going to go over two main ones. I'm also going to give you some language, because one of the things that we need to do as business owners is become bulletproof, absolutely positively bulletproof with each objection or each question that we get, because we're the tour guide, right? We got to correct, we got to guide, we got to provide so that they can figure out yes or no. All right. So remember that objections are just questions. I've got my notes right here so that I stay on track. So if you see me looking down, you know what I'm doing. It's an opportunity for you to keep the conversation going. It's not a negative, you guys. They're not challenging you. We don't want to take these personal. It actually is a good thing, because it means that they're starting to process and look and go, wait, could I do this? Is this something that would make sense for me? Objections just mean that they're not ready for the yes or no yet. So we've got some more work to do. Here's your formula. You want to acknowledge what they're thinking. You want to acknowledge it. You don't want to necessarily tell them they're right, but you want to acknowledge it. I hear you. Then you want to listen, and you want to validate. I love the feel, felt, found, because it basically is this. I hear how you feel. So you're mirroring back to them like, oh, I totally get that. I hear what you're saying about time, or I hear what you're saying about money. I felt that way too, if that is an honest thing that you can say. And if it's not, maybe you have a business partner that you could say, oh my gosh, and one of my strongest partners felt the same way. She was in the exact same boat. but this is what I found. So that's the correction, right? That's where you're educating and refocusing them on what the real information is. And this is where people get hung up because they think they're convincing. This is not convincing, you guys. This is correcting misinformation so that they can figure out, is this a yes or no for them, okay? So I totally understand how you feel. I felt the same way, man. I was working, I needed another thing on my plate, like a hole in the head. That's what I tell people, because I was working massive hours when this found me. But this is what I found. I found that it fits right into everything else that I'm doing, and busy people know how to get things done. Okay, so feel, felt, found. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to take you through the main objections that we get. We want to keep these trainings short, so I'm not going to go through every one, but what I will do for you guys is I will post in the comments language for each one, because your job, your challenge, one of the challenges is to become bulletproof on each one of these, okay? And then I have a specific challenge for you guys. Okay, so we get the same questions over and over and over and over. It's pretty common. Time's a big one. Like, people don't believe that they have time to do this. We know that that's not true, but you know, I remember I thought that when I started, I thought there was no way I could add another thing to my plate. So time is a big one. Money is another one. Like, they don't have enough money to join. Hello, that's why they need this, right? But we have to help them see that, because they're viewing this, they're not viewing this as an investment. They're viewing this as something that's going to take from them instead of give to them. So we have to educate them there. Products are too expensive. We know that's not true, right? Because they're the best product on the market, the best value. Pyramid scheme, you guys, I rarely hear that one, but it happens. They don't want to be that girl. They don't want to bug friends and family. I think every single one of us had that on our brain, right? When we started. Don't know enough people. Their network is too small. Don't want to be a salesperson. Want to only use all natural products, right? We've heard that one before. And the market's saturated. I waited too long. It's my ship has sailed, right? Which we know isn't true. So I'm going to go ahead and post language for each one of those. But I'm going to dive into time and money, because time and money seem to be one that we get quite a bit. So time. You guys, if we do the feel, felt, found, we're going to say, oh my gosh, I totally hear you. And then you're going to put in what your reality was. And if your reality wasn't that you were super busy, you're going to pull a story from somebody else. You can use mine. I was working 70 to 80 hours in my corporate job. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot even believe. When I think back to that, I don't know how I did it. But working 70 to 80 hours a week. I was also teaching at the university, and I was a first-time mom at the age of 42. Hello, I was exhausted. She was 2 months old when I started this business. So I totally understand how time is a huge challenge. This is what I found. I found that the busier I was, the easier Rodan and Fields fit into my life. I was talking to people, interacting with people, which was a natural way for me to build my business. So you could do something like that. Or you can say, I also will use this quite often. I also knew that if I kept doing things the same way, kept using my time the same way, I knew what that got me down the road. And I wanted a different life. I wanted time freedom. So I knew that if I wanted something different, I had to do something different. So I had to make some changes for 2 years before I could leave my corporate job. And that 2 years was a little crazy, but it was totally worth it. So you share that story and you re-educate them so they can start to see, how is Rodan and Fields a possible solution for whatever question they throw at you. That's really our role. Now, we would never be dishonest with them, or we would never try to convince them or anything like that. We're simply sharing facts. So how can you help paint a picture for people that what they're thinking is inaccurate, and here's the reality of what this opportunity is? Okay, so money. I appreciate that. A lot of people are in the same place. If money is that tight, all the more reason for you to join, right? All the more reason for you to do this. We have programs in place that will help you earn your investment back within the first few months. How would $500 a month, an extra $500 a month, impact your family? That's a big question, you guys, because most families, $500 would make a huge difference. So don't be afraid to share and ask them that. Like, what if $500, like you were able to earn $500 with your Rodan & Fields business right out of the gates, because we have people doing it left and right, okay? So you're feeling, felt, found. You understand, you validate, you share a story of someone that was in the same boat, whether it's you or somebody else, and then you correct them with the right information, okay? So I want you guys to think of objections as questions or stopping points along the journey of them going from point A to point B. And point A just simply means that they're looking at it. They don't know what it is. None of us knew what this is when it came to us, right? We all thought we did, but none of us knew what this was. So stopping points along the way. Some are going to have several stopping points along the way. Some are going to have only one or two. Your job is to educate, inform, correct, so that they can get to point B, which is when they're ready to make a decision, whether that decision is yes or no. All right, so I will post language for you guys. Hi, everybody. I love seeing you guys hop on. I will post language for you guys in the notes for each one of the common questions that we get. And here's my challenge to you. I have two challenges for you. The first one is, most of us have our favorite objection. We're like, bring that objection on. We love it because it was probably our top objection. I want you to share your favorite language in the comments for your favorite objection, and so we can share, right? We all learn from one another. So that's your first challenge. Your second challenge, most of you, I'm hoping, have agreed to new in June, right? That whole campaign, we're looking for 2 new business partners in June. So here's what I want you to do. We have all had somebody say no to us because time or money was their concern, right? I want you to scrub your list. I want you to go back through all your no's and find every single person that gave you the time objection and the money objection. With the time objection, you're gonna share my story. You're gonna share 20-year corporate exec working 70 to 80 hours a week at the top of her career, reporting directly to a CEO. You guys, I was maxed out. Teaching at the university, first-time mom at 42. You're gonna share that story and you're gonna let them know I was able to build Rodan & Fields along my career. It took me 2 years before I could walk away from that career. But you guys, where else can you condense a 20-year career into 2 years? Like, it just doesn't happen. So I want you to share that story. And then for the money story, I want you to use this language. You want to validate them, but I want you to circle back and I want you to share this. So you've got 2 categories that you're going for. So you're scrubbing your list from all the people that told you no, that time or money were the issue. Time, you're sharing my story. Money, you're sharing this. We just launched a summer program that allows new business owners to leverage thousands of dollars in cash bonuses in their first few months. How would an extra $500 positively impact your family per month? Okay, that's your challenge. I want you to circle back with them, you guys. I am so thrilled to be here with you. I will post that language up in the description, and then I will post awesome language for all the other objections in there too. But more importantly, you guys, I want you to share yours. What are you doing? Because we all have a favorite objection. We all do, because we were in that situation, all right? Have a great day. I love learning from all these leaders. Bye, you guys.